Welcome to Parental Talkback with Kay Woods, also known as Miss K. This is a judgment-free space for real parents navigating real life. Here, we talk through the questions you don't always say out loud.
We're back. Hey, friends. Hey, family. Dads, moms, caregivers. We're here to share about honoring your word. Let's get to it.
Okay, so one of our main questions this week was from someone asking, they said, and I quote, "My nephew borrowed money and did not commit to an agreement." Miss K, what would you do about that one?
Commitment is interesting because we have to honor what we say for people to trust. Everything starts with trust. Trust is huge. It gets us secure in who we are because our character is very important. So if you say something, be about it, walk the talk, so that people will trust you just like you trust them.
I like that. But once again, we are talking about a nephew, and they did not say the age range. So a lot of times we do have to make sure that we teach them accountability about borrowing if they're not returning it as they said. Because a lot of them, if it's a verbal agreement, I'm not going to say that my nephews and nieces wouldn't honor it, but it gets a little scarce sometimes.
Been there, done that. Got 2 t-shirts and a hat.
But my favorite one is my grandbaby. So we went to the store.
Okay.
And it wasn't even an expensive. I think it might have been a Dollar Tree or something. And she loves their little trinkets. And so I gave her my standing lecture. We're not going to buy all the extra stuff when we go in here. Gia has a couple of things in mind. I'm going to grab them. We're going to leave. Okay, Gia. Thinking, yeah, she got it this time. We go in the store. I pick up my few items. Next thing you know, here's all the little additives to the basket. I said, now, we discussed this.
Okay.
And we were not going to buy all these extras today. Gia doesn't have the money today to pay for all of this. I have money. I said, oh, okay. Well, do you have your money with you? No, my purse is at home. I said, okay, well, we can't take the items out the store without paying for them.
Okay.
She said, okay. Well, if you pay for them, Gia, I have money at home. I said, well, what do you have with you today? Now, I've always taught her to keep $1 in her pocket. She pulls out her dollar. I'm like, well, you have about $4 or $5 worth of items in the cart now. So, okay. I said, so when we go home, it's okay for me to take your money out of your bank, right? Yes. Okay. We get to the counter. She's insisting, number one, to give them this $1 that's not going to pay for her items because I generally make them ring her up separately. I said, it's okay, Ryan. I'm going to give them money and you're going to give me my money back. So to make it easier, because she's young, I give her a bill to pay for it herself. So our first fight is the change back is now her money.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, I gave you the money to pay for that. No, this is my change. And may I have a receipt, please?
Okay.
I'm like, okay, here we go again. I think I'm failing at this, actually. I'm being honest, Ms. K. I think this is one of my failing points, too. So I pay for mine and we leave and we go home.
Okay.
I said, okay, so it's time to go to the bank to get my money out. I don't want to take my money out of the bank.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, we're going to have to discuss this with your mommy when she comes home because I think I deserve my money back because we discussed this, you agreed, and now you don't want to give me my money back. So I think it starts at a young age.
Absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying. Now, if we were to unpack this, let's talk about it. One,
that
you had the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
2, you're saying what needs to take place if you want her to pay you back the money.
Correct.
She's agreed. Then after you leave the place of purchase, things change.
Oh, she reneged every time.
But what the good news is You're going to circle back to have the conversation again so she understands what her original commitment was, and where did it change. Let her speak to it. So what we can do is when we're discussing when the agreement have went wrong, how to get it back on track for them to own what just took place. I've got a story for you here because that happened way too much. I have a number of nieces and great nieces and nephews, both nieces and nephews. What I do now when we meet up and we do things, if I'm the sponsor, the payer, I give them what I want them to spend. Anything else is on them. It really changes when you allot money out to what you really want to spend so that they don't overspend. You transfer the responsibility. Now, back to our initial question, when money was asked for and the agreement wasn't met, we go back to it. We keep them feeling that you're not badgering them, just reminding of them of what they said, and just say, if you're unable to meet your agreement, please pick up the phone. Let's have a decision about it, because that makes sure the relationship stays tight. And we understand that if you can't meet your original commitment, you need to own up to it, speak to whomever you made the commitment with, and see what you can do. Maybe you can change the arrangement. Maybe you can stretch it out. And here in the back of that, let them know how important it is to share openly, because then they can come back again, because you never know what's going to happen down the road in the future. Because if you avoid having that conversation, you could have an emergency.
Right.
And then the help is not there that you needed. Not because they don't have it, because you didn't commit the first time. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think that is right on target. And I think that everybody should bring their young adults in, bring their friends in, and extended family, because that is deeper than just our young people. We have that same thing going on with some adults also.
Correct.
And I think that's very valuable.
Exactly.
But I love the piece about giving them a set amount, because I'm like you, I'll go out with my nieces and nephews and end up being the payer. And if they know I'm paying, it's lobster for everybody.
And remember, never loan something that you can't afford to lose.
And that's been my lifelong lesson.
People have the best intentions. However, life happens and they're unable to honor it.
Yeah.
But be open, let you know what you can do if you can't meet that agreement, and then circle back to it, because that's what we can do. Open conversation keeps a healthy relationship, and it also teaches us to own when we intend to land with the best intentions. Think positive before you go negative.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you listening. Thank you for being here. We're going to do this. We're going to push through it, and we're going to give one hand up. It still takes a village. Let's redefine it.
Yes. And don't forget to visit us, and especially if you have more questions, because this was valuable to us also.
Absolutely.
So reach out at www.askmskay.com. That's askmisskay.com.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for sharing.
Submit more questions. Bye for now, and make it a great day.
If this episode spoke to you, make sure you subscribe and share it with another parent who needs support. You can submit your questions using the link below, or if you need immediate judgment-free parental feedback, visit www.askmskay.com.